Welcome to Two Each Way. I'm Ross Stevenson, that bloke's Hamish McLachlan, and whatever your two is, please enjoy it. Make sure you follow Two Each Way and don't miss an episode. Email us anytime. Story, question, observation, don't care. twoeachway@9.com.au, and we have an Instagram page. Wow. Just search Two Each Way. Is anyone, what do you do with an Instagram page? Do you look at it, do you? Right. Have any people looked at it? A couple.
My wife looked at my algorithm on Instagram the other day and she realised I had some problems. It was horse racing, sport, and bungee jumping or something.
Right,
no bikinis.
We just turned on the microphone and you said, no. I said, I've got to turn my phone off. And you said, no. We'll leave our phones on. We'll have a bet as to whether we get a text, a call, or a WhatsApp during the podcast.
$1.90 each of two on the calls. Yeah. I'm going to back...
I'm going to back... No, it's a race. A race, text or call. Who gets one first? You are $1. Oh! I won!
You cannot script that.
Maya Van Es has, to our text group, we do Wordle every day, and she got it in 5 goes.
That you could not script that any better.
That's
okay, so $1.90 each of two on the call.
Yeah.
I'm going to back myself, million.
Yeah.
To have a call prior to you.
You will have a call prior.
But there's also bookie takes all if there's no call.
Okay. There are 3 ways to describe your weekend on the punt. Did fortune abandon you? Did you have a very good day, or did you at least stand up? I'm going to go forward to Wednesday of this week, Caulfield.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. I have a horse called Supreme Sovereign. Here is trained by Chris Waller. Here's Chris's update on Supreme Sovereign.
Supreme Sovereign's been entered to race on Wednesday at Caulfield. Damien Lane's booked to ride. We've drawn 6 in a field of 12. I think we just come out conservatively, get the horse to switch off and relax, and leave the rest to Damien to sort out. He'll improve, he'll run well, and appreciate the 1800 metre distance. Pretty open race. We're a 15-1 chance, but it's a $5 favourite, which is number 10, and then a very open race after that.
How good's that, eh? He'll run well.
Very exciting.
Let's have a list of the concluding stages of race 5 at Caulfield.
Outside, Hallowed Halls struck the front in a bunch go, and Hallowed Halls has won it from in second place, Curse It from Aura, and then fighting out fourth, also Clear and Karaka, then Sotomayor, Georgie Get Mad, and Bayou Music.
What happened to Supreme Sovereign? It was scratched.
Morning of.
And I loved your message to me and Hot Horse Herbie as 2 of the owners. We use on the breakfast program, instead of a swear word, we just substitute the word redact. You texted, it's a redact game. It just is a redact game.
Can I just go back a step? You started that segment with, I own a horse called Supreme Sovereign. Any danger of using the word we own a horse called Supreme Sovereign?
Oh, God, are you in it? Oh, is that the one we gave you?
Oh, my God.
I don't know. I've got a few.
For my 50th birthday,
me and Hot Horse Herbie.
You and Rowan gave me 5% of the horse. Hence, every time it runs, I say, are we a chance today? Do you not understand how this is working?
Yeah, I know. I don't pay enough attention to aspects of my life.
You can remember word by word the Gettysburg Address. You can't remember giving me 5% of an international horse that can't run.
Speaking of, before we get to your weekend.
Sure.
7 racing on Saturday afternoon. At one stage, Chris Waller, being interviewed by I don't know who, wasn't you, started to talk about how he chooses jockeys for his horses, and he said this.
Autumn Glow and Aliana's gallop in about 20 minutes.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. And there's a little jockey switcheroo there, I see.
Yeah, don't read too much into that. It's probably a story to tell one day about why we pick our jockeys and why we use James a lot, how we get the services of James, because I could have you here all day telling you. So maybe one day we'll tell the viewers how we do it.
What's that about? He said there's a mysterious story about how we get jockeys for horses and how we get James. Do you reckon Chris would tell us? Because he said it would take a long time to explain, and one day I'll tell you. Well, given that you and I both have a horse trained by him, apparently, do you reckon Chris would come on and say, what did he mean by that?
Do you think he didn't want to say, or he didn't have time to say to Emma Freedman?
I don't know, but he was being very mysterious.
Felt like there's another episode in there somewhere.
And they say the only thing that Chris listens to is this podcast.
Chris.
So, Chris.
You are our interesting person next week. You have as
when
many
you're
minutes
next
as you like.
When you're next in Melbourne, come in, we'll put one of those turbans on you, like from Aladdin's cave, and you can, and we'll video you as you tell us the mysterious methods that he used to get the services of James McDonald. How'd you go?
Did you hear that phone ring before?
I did. Yeah.
Did that go through the audio?
Yeah.
It did go through the audio.
Well, just because the video was on, I wondered if it went through. It did?
Yeah. $1.92.
Bang.
1.92 million jumps in.
That's perfect.
Lovely.
Good start to Thursday.
Yeah.
So I, on Sunday, went to play golf, weirdly enough, at a golf course that guy put together, David Evans. Went up, played with a really good group of guys. I realised, not unlike you and I have had this conversation today, that I was in a horse with one of the two gentlemen that I was playing with. He said, don't use my name for this story, so let's just call him Franco.
Right.
From Adelaide, who's a dentist. So we were
Fango.
We were a Fango. That's good. Let's call him Fango. We were in at a wedding, having a lunch before the wedding. 17 beers later, he had separated from his wife, was looking to sort of get back into the system. And I said, let's get a horse together. And he was no interest at all. And then I said, Michelle Payne's the trainer. He said, I'll come in on the horse with you.
Ooh.
He then said, how's the horse going? I said, well, I think we're about to trial. It's getting pretty exciting. I could just tell he wasn't that excited. Michelle Payne is now in a relationship. He wants out of the horse. He's flat as a biscuit. The Michelle has found happiness, and he is saying, well, what's the point of being in this horse? So, Fango, I hope that you'll still find happiness in the horse that may or may not be trained by Michelle Payne.
Okay.
Cheltenham.
I'm looking at my phone for a reason. I realised I got a text I must read out to you.
Do you want to do that now while I'm in the middle of something? Or do you
No. I'll wait.
Okay.
Cheltenham.
Yeah, so Cheltenham last week. I generally have I think it must have been Thursday night after the football because I can't normally sleep after the football. I turn on the races. Who won the Melbourne Cup in 1931? Beat Farlap.
White Nose?
Correct. You're on fire.
I'm on fire.
How are you catching him? Oh! My Lex couldn't believe that last week. So I'm sort of half daisy and I hear this white noise. I said, is that white nose or white noise? Anyway, I had to have a few shoes on.
As they do so, White Noise is picking up very strongly. White Noise staying on gamely. Led over the last. White Noise chased by Plastilla Nacion. Old School Outlaw coming after White Noise as they head towards the final 100 yards here. White Noise in front. Old School Outlaw is chasing hard. Then Plastilla Nacion and Champ de Faust. But White Noise is going to take the opener for Matt Nichols and Kim Bailey.
What do you notice about White Noise's nose?
It's got a nose roll on it.
Big white.
Right, yeah. Oh, white nose.
So when I heard white noise, I'm there. Sophie's asleep. It's like 1 a.m. I think, what am I doing with my life? And then I think, this is just one of the great omens. Because I see the horse with a white nose roll on. My great-grandfather owned White Nose, which beat Farlap. White Noise was close enough. $9.50. The
universe speaks to you.
It yells.
It doesn't speak to me.
No, but look at you. You're so grumpy. There's other people to talk to.
I got a text yesterday from someone who said, it sends me the breeding of a horse and goes, inspected by Swettenham and Kia Ora representatives for us whilst at the sales in Perth, blah, blah, blah. This is, yeah, you can turn them off now, you show off. I've turned mine off. It'll be heading to Clayton Douglas, blah, blah. And no, they're trying to sell me a horse, right? The person who sent me that text is called Jack Gunston. And during the text, he goes, I'll let Liam do his first ever sales pitch. Over to you, Liam. Ha ha, thank you, Jack. First handball I've ever received from you. Nice. Liam Shields.
So he and Jack are in the horse business together.
Well, they must be. Yeah. So I haven't read the text properly because I've sworn off any further involvement.
Why? It's been so financially
rewarding.
rewarding.
You know why? Because someone told me during the week it's a redact game. Right? It's taken me a
and
while, but I've worked it out.
Is it an incredibly expensive game? Jack Gunston on the front bar last week was brilliant. Then he went out and kicked. What did he kick on against us?
5.
5 or 6?
5.
I was looking at his numbers for tonight.
He's 34 years of age. He plays for the Mighty Hawks.
He's kicked 3.8, I think, in his last 14 matches on average, having 5.2 shots at goal per game.
Yeah.
He's in incredible form for a 34-year-old.
Morning. Oh, g'day, Jack and Liam. Emails go to 2 each way.
I bet you buy into that horse. I'll have $1 million with you.
2 each way at 9.com.au. Keith emails, he goes, Mr. Wilson. Do you remember Mr. Wilson was the fellow who built the 100 metres track in the games that was actually 94 metres long?
We played it last week, if you remember.
Yeah. So
I thought you were asking me if I remembered it.
No. Keith has sent a photograph of
I
his...
forgot that we played that.
I've said for a long time, it's remarkable how little of my own life I remember. Keith has sent a photograph of a local cricket pitch, and the caption reads, all season the pitch at Marriott Waters Reserve was 2 metres too long. Just in time for the grand final, somebody finally noticed. Surely you'd notice if it was 2 metres, if you're a bowler.
I just feel like I've got so much time out here today. Extra 2 metres. Like I'm seeing him like watermelon. In fact, the guy that was really quick last week seems to have lost like 15% of his speed.
It's coming from a different postcode. Grant says, growing up in the country, an old bush trainer I knew would quite often like to celebrate before the races with a long neck or two. One day he celebrated so hard before the races that when he got to the races and put the tailgate down on the float, there was no horse.
This is a true story.
Oh, I've got a true story about that.
I was on the phone, as my wife says, I have a habit of being, in Noosa. We have kids in the car. Miller, Indian, Lex at this point was very young. I'm on the phone, sort of walking, half serious conversation, and she passes me the pram. So I take the pram and I walk the Noosa boardwalk for this hour conversation with AirPods in. Walking up and down, turn at the park, go up to the park, turn again. At the end of the hour, I'm thinking, God, Lex is an incredible sleeper. He's always been a good sleeper. He's just a great kid. He's my favourite son. And I then get out front of, I think it's called Cafe C.
Bistro C.
Bistro C. I take the sun thing off to get Lex out to go inside. He's not in there. I've been walking a babyless child for an hour.
We can start this. There is the horse trainer who forgot to put the horse in, the father who forgot to put his baby in.
Yeah, send us your email.
Mine's not quite so funny.
Oh.
20 years ago on the news was the story of the bloke who filmed his parachute jump. He jumps out of the plane and he's got the camera on and the camera shows him going...
No.
He hadn't put a parachute on.
Is that true?
I think, checked.
Well,
Can someone check it?
It was pre-AI, so...
Yeah.
So just on that, my mother, who you know well, Sylvia, morning, we were at...
Queen of the Southwest.
Queen of Birregurra, Lord Mary's Ross. So we were at our family Christmas. Fiona McLachlan aunt says, hey Gil, hey Hamish, hey Banch, where's Will?
Your brother?
Youngest brother.
Yeah.
Mum looks at Dad, Dad looks at Mum. I'll go grab him. 6 miles back at our house on the kitchen floor.
Oh, tall, handsome Will, eh?
Good-looking Will. Favourite son.
Last week, off the back of an email from Catherine, we wanted to know what did you spend your winnings on in the unlikely event that you ever had any. James said he was 18 years of age and he won $1,200 on the punt. So he went and bought a cricket bat for $1,300. He goes, I play C grade. He goes, what was I doing?
How do you buy a cricket bat for $1,300?
Yeah.
What is a really expensive cricket bat worth?
Can you go
3 or 4?
that?
Is it?
Go to Rebel Sport.
That seems an extraordinary amount, particularly a while ago.
Go to Rebel Sport Big Bid and see how much you can get one for. We spoke last week about Roy Orbis's...
What do you got? Phone call? He just rang me.
It's the same bloke who rang you.
Answer him. Just say we're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Morning, David. You're on the podcast. Yeah, we're recording the podcast. We're having a bet as to whose phone would ring first.
I screened you 3 minutes ago.
And you rang Hamish and he's won 1.92 million. And I've run the Quinella. I'll ring you back. Gray Nichols Prestige Cricket Bat, Rebel Sport, $769.99.
How do you get to double that?
Yeah, well, I don't know when James was an 18-year-old. We discussed Roy Orbison's...
Well, even if he was an 18-year-old today, how do you get to $1,300 for the bat? They're today's prices.
It's hard.
The gold-plated Chris Gale. Remember he played with that gold bat for a while? Anyway.
We mentioned Roy Orbison's Black and White concert and noticed that one of the people, the tribute concert, which is utterly brilliant, from a long time ago, that one of the...
he can remember that, but he can't remember giving me 5% of a horse 3 months ago.
J.D. Souther performed, and I said, oh, that's interesting. I said, what is the word that Roy Orbison and J.D. Souther would have in common? Thank you to James, Mitch and Bob, who all correctly answered the word is lonely.
Tell us how and why.
Only the Lonely by Roy Orbison, and J.D. Souther's biggest hit was You're Only Lonely, which is a really, really good song.
James, Mitch and Bob will get you a house and land package in Byron Bay. Congratulations, the first winner of our quiz. Just going back one step, the guy that bought into the horse so he could meet Michelle Payne that has turned out badly.
Yeah.
What do you reckon the worst thing you've ever bought is to try and get an outcome? I was in Argentina.
I know. Don't worry, Big Beard. I did it. A wedding ring.
I was in Argentina and we're in a flea market, and Sophie, who is an architect, said, oh, what a wonderful architectural drawing board thing.
Mm.
So we buy it.
Like is it a draftsman's board?
Draftsman's board.
Yeah.
With a huge metal base. Yeah. Has to be pulled apart, sent back to Australia. The price of the drawing board was $5,000.
Yeah.
The transport that I didn't think about was $3,000. We paid both to the guy that owned the flea market. He never sent either.
Oh, no.
Never sent it. So I was $8,000 out of pocket for an architectural table that we've never seen. To try and get Sophie to marry me.
Yeah, well,
which I did. It was a good investment.
What's your number this week?
2,000.
Why is it 2,000?
So Golden Slipper is this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The horse that I'm about to show you wins from an impossible spot. Part owned by John Singleton.
And Bob Hawke.
Part owned by Bob Hawke. I was told that the conversation between Bob Hawke and Singo goes a bit like this. So Bob can't see. He's forgotten his binoculars, standing next to Singo. They jump, and Bob Hawke says,
Starter
at this
on the
point,
stand, presses the button off,
Singo,
and Bill Deshua bungled the start.
How did we jump?
Almost went over
and
ahead.
Singo goes,
and
we're rooted.
Yeah.
So as the race went on, Bob, who can't see anything at this point because he's forgotten his binoculars, says to Singo, how are we going? Bob, we're no chance. And then at about the
because we can see we're watching it now, it completely bungled the start and it's last.
So it's missed the start. Beasley's on board and there's no chance it gets into the race. So Bob at this point still annoying Singo, and Singo at this point's almost started to have conversations with other people around him. Now, at what point do you think, even though you know the outcome of this race, is Belle de Jour any chance of winning the Golden Slipper?
They're approaching the turn. It is no hope on earth.
It has got a field of horses.
It couldn't possibly win.
But you know that it's going to win, and you say now it can't win. And you still think now with, 300 to go, there is no way the horse wins. Bob says to Singo, how are we going? He goes, we're still rooted. And at this point, Bob sort of gets a bit disconsolate, and he says, where are we at? He said, we're at the 100.
Crown Glory, here she comes. Crown Glory is out after Assertive Lad, who hit the front, and Belle de Jour right through the middle. Freakish win.
That's the greatest win I've ever seen in my life.
Singo then says, Bob, we're not so rooted. We've won.
And didn't he shout the
whole of Rose Hill?
The whole of Rose Hill.
That's a big performance, isn't it? Shouting the whole of Rose Hill. It's like, just go for it. But having said that, if you did win the Slipper, you would be in the mood to shout the whole of Rose Hill.
My word, I would.
So 2,000, that happens this weekend. Have you ever backed a Slipper winner? In fact, have you ever backed a winner?
Seriously, never.
Haven't you?
My number is 16. I'm a passionate Arsenal supporter in the English Premier League. And during the week, there was a game where it was... Have I got two good calls? Yeah. So could I use that one here?
Smart play. Savvy veteran move from you.
It's late in the game, Arsenal-Everton. And Arsenal are in front, but they've got Man City on their hammer. And it's all very fraught. Man City drew. Good result. Arsenal are 1-0 up against Everton. And Everton have a corner late in the game, like in the dying seconds of the game. So, as often happens, the Everton goalkeeper comes down, because they're often tall. He comes down to be in the mix for when the corner goes in, to see whether he can help get the equaliser for Everton, which would be a disaster for Arsenal.
Well set up by you, by the way.
Thanks. Here's the corner.
By Jokeres. Martinelli again, and Dowman can run clear, and Dowman has Martinelli with him. Dowman's going to go alone. Dowman to wrap things up for Arsenal. Max Dempsey's moment. It is dream stuff for Dowman.
Righto, here's the question, right? So what happens is the corner comes in, Arsenal clear it, and an Arsenal player dodges a few players with the ball, runs down to the other end of the ground where there's no goalkeeper, so he just puts the ball in and Arsenal win 2-0. Question. That's Max Dowman who kicked that. How old's Max Dowman?
I think the only soccer article I read this week in the world was talking about a 16-year-old teenager. Is that Max?
That's Max. He's 16. The youngest player ever to score a goal in the English Premier League. That's my first question.
Okay.
My second question. In Australian dollars, what is Max Dowman's current annual salary?
Is Max a prodigy and been known to be brilliant for a long time?
I don't really know. A bit behind on my reading.
I assume it's either a lot or not much, and I'm going to go with a lot.
Okay, go put it
Australian dollars per week?
No, annually.
Australian dollars annually. Can I go
16. He's 16 years old.
I'm going to go with $1 million per year.
Okay. The answer is $40,000.
Oh, no.
He's on 40,000 Aussie a year.
What's he about to be on?
Well, that's a different question.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's the bit that I take out of that story. I have a 13-year-old about to turn 14. She can't make her own bed in the morning or keep her room clean or seemingly make herself breakfast. He, on the biggest football stage in the world, can run the length of the ground and put one in the back of the net at 16.
Yep.
Where have I gone wrong?
Don't worry. We're not alone. Would you rather?
Would you rather? These questions come from my 9-year-old, Lex, who won the 800 yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Terrific run. Just went to the front and just broke their hearts.
Was it a one-goer?
Yeah.
Well, the others all
I couldn't believe the odds they put up either. Lex, 13s, please. Would you rather? These actually from Lex and I eating tacos last night on the kitchen bench. Ross, as you would say, you can't talk at all one day a week, or you can't drink at all one day a week.
Oh, I'd much rather judge you can't talk one day a week.
Just drink by yourself.
Just go and drink all day and
Lex,
talk to yourself.
Lex and I also predicted the answers, and he's 1 from 1.
Responsibly.
This is again from Lex. If you are 26 and a single man, would you rather own a super yacht or have a sister 2 years younger who is a supermodel?
Well,
26, single. You're very wealthy.
All right.
Doesn't mean you're happy.
Okay.
You got a sister who I assume would have some friends.
I see. Oh, that's how the supermodel bit comes in, right?
Well, I certainly wasn't hoping you'd have a relationship with her.
The collateral. Righto. The only reason I'm hesitant is that I've told this and I checked it and it's true. If you've got a super yacht, give me a price on a super yacht.
€300.
Right. So what's that in Aussie dollars? 500.
It's almost double. Yeah, 500, 550.
Right. If your super yacht is 500 million,
10%.
Yeah, it costs 50 million a year to run.
So you're in good shape.
It costs 10% a year to run.
So by definition, you're in great shape.
You're generating. Have I got the 50 every year? Or am I going to?
Well, you wouldn't buy one if you didn't, and if you didn't have the 500, you'd have to have close to the 500. You're not going to be borrowing too much.
Lexi, I'd rather have the super yacht because I think the supermodels that come with it.
You get both. That's what big is.
And you don't have an annoying younger sister. No, yeah, that was easy.
Well done, T-Lex.
Number 3.
$1 million a week goes into your account for the rest of your life, or $100 million today.
Well, I suspect you and I might answer that differently, depending on the definition, the rest of your life. I'd take 100 million now.
I'm the same. Yeah. I can turn that into 50 quick.
Yeah, you'd be sitting there having 100 million on whose phone's going to ring next.
192
hey,
million.
To turn the phones on. Is your phone on?
I can turn it back on. You want to have another go?
Yep, we'll have another go. Unbelievably, the same bloke rang you and me.
Jason Kimberley, who listens
he's
to
ringing
this
to
podcast,
ask you whether you want to be in that club as well.
I now know I can get defensive early. Yeah. Do you know, Jason Kimberley says this show is best when we're betting mid-show. So, Jace, this is for you. Would you rather, number 3?
4.
No more sport on TV ever again, but front row tickets to any event you want, anytime, anywhere. Or no more sport live, but your team always wins.
No sport live and your team always wins.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, there wouldn't be any point because you know your
the
team's
outcome.
always, you know the outcome. No, take me back to the first time. Take me back to the front row tickets to any sporting event in the world that I want.
I think I'd go the latter. You used to have $1 million on every time, knowing the team gets up, and you watch it at the pub with your mates all the time, in that pub that you bought, knowing that the Hawks will get up.
Yeah, yeah. So, geez, Hame, you must be swimming in it because you back your team. You know they're going to win every game.
Yeah. Well, I bought the pub because of last week's win. I knew the outcome.
But then I lost it on because
Midweek.
Roscoe's phone rang first. Number 5.
You can't watch the Hawks live ever again, but they win the flag every second year, or you watch them live, but they never win the flag ever again.
No, we're winning it every second year, please.
Well done, Lexi boy. They're the 5.
Good call. This is where we find some audio to entertain each other. What do you got?
I have decided, with Big Beard's confirmation, that I'm allowed to do this. Dennis every week for 12 weeks. This I had not heard until all of the tributes came out. They were playing a game, and for some reason, the 50 had been changed, on the arc to 50 in Chinese or Mandarin. So the player is about to cross over the 50.
That's just with the Gold Coast game in Shanghai or whatever it was?
It actually wasn't.
No,
I'm not quite sure why the Chinese 50 was down, but the Mandarin is the 5 and the O, and the player is about to cross it.
Behind this one. Don't slip on the Mandarin.
Why is the Chinese riding at the 50?
No, I'm not sure. I didn't go deep into that, but how brilliant is it? Don't slip on the Mandarin.
That's really good.
Behind this one. Don't slip on the Mandarin.
He would have been very happy with that. There's a bit of a theme tomorrow morning, this morning, because it's about 4 days after 16-year-old Max Dowman scored he's the youngest player in the history of the EPL. I said that. Arsenal then
also,
went to play.
I own 5% of Supreme Sovereign with you.
Do you?
Yep.
What was this game? The UEFA League. This was Arsenal v Leeuwenhausen. I think they're called. Have a look at this.
Trossard, Eza on the turn and hits and scores! Oh my word! It's an absolute stunner from Ibera Eza.
That is a proper strike.
That is a proper. That's from about. Well, don't exaggerate. We're going to say 30 out.
How deep is the box? He's 2 metres outside the box.
Yeah. So we need to know how deep is the box in a game of soccer. And look at how cool he is. That's
the right word to describe that. A stunner.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm going to use that tonight.
Use it tonight.
I'll get in for
Are you calling Hawthorn Sydney? Yeah, get Stunner in tonight.
Get Stunner in.
Be watching the footy on 7 because Hame
needs a ring for $1 million.
Yeah.
That was just a ding. How long? 16.5. So that was about 18, 19 metres out. Yeah. He kicks it at what? Hip height? Look where he strikes it from, though.
And he turns and hits it in one fell boot.
Oh, my God. Top left crack.
There we go. We believe in the premise that horse racing is never boring, so each week we find which is why we've been talking about soccer. Find someone interesting in, around and adjacent to racing.
Architectural drawing boards.
This week's interesting person comes from a Sir Mark Prescott special, a story of how tough a horse trainer can be.
I always have an assistant and a pupil assistant, and a good young trainer now, William Haggis, who's a very good trainer and a very hard-working man. He came to me as pupil, and I trained horses for his father. And his father said, young William's had a easy time, been to smart public school and one thing or another. He just wants chasing around a bit, and I hope he'll start training one day. So William came along, and I said, now then, William, if you're going to get on with me, the big thing is that I've never ever been late since I left school. I've never been late, so you can never be late. There is no excuse for being late in the morning ever. Absolutely, sir. Rely on me. I shall be most reliable. So about 6 days went by, and of course, young William's late. So I said to the assistant trainer, I said, you better go and wake that boy up, So went into the town where he lived, woke him up. Young William came running in, all apologies. I said, William, I said, you've been here 6 days and you've been late. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I've not been late in 20 odd. So it's about 14,000 days before you can be late again. Do you understand? Absolutely. So it won't happen again. You can rely on me. 2 days went by. No William, you know. And it was work morning, and owners were coming out, and I'd got to get off racing at 9:30, and I got enough on my plate without having to wake William up. So I said to the assistant trainer, I said, just run me down. I'll go and collect my papers, and I'll wake him up. So I collected the papers, and it turned out he lived in one of the terraced houses in Newmarket, Long Terrace Street, and he was in number 36. So I went round the back, and it's quite hard to work out, you know, with that odd numbering either side of the street, which number 36 is. So I climbed over this fence, and there was a kitchen window, and I just eased the kitchen window up, and you've got to sort of crawl in over the taps, you know. And as I looked up, there was an elderly woman in a hairnet there. I said, is this number 36? She said, no, it is not. I'm very sorry, madam. Which is number? She said, next door. So I reversed out through over her fence, eased up the kitchen window next door, picked up a saucepan full of filthy water. I went up the stairs as quiet as I could. In off the right, halfway up the stairs, was one bedroom. I opened the door very quietly. This lad had only been working for me 6 or 7 days. Fast asleep, little black hair, T-shirt on a camp bed. So I got hold of the back of his hair and his T-shirt like that. I smacked his head against the wall. I said, you idle little bastard. And turned him round, and I'd never seen the fella before in my life. I could hear the coroner, you know, saying, what did you do? I said, where is William Haggis? He's in the next door. Climbed down through the next. And he'd just taken a bit of my thigh, you know. And I climbed up there, sure enough, at the top of the stairs, there's poor little William fast asleep, you know. I just poured that saucepan, filthy water all over his head. And as he stood up, I went, bang, like that, you know, felled him, you know, to his knees. I said, don't you ever fucking be late again. Fear is a wonderful thing, and he was never ever late again, you know.
Oh, that's wonderful storytelling.
He's a good storyteller. Can you imagine going through the window over the taps into the kitchen of a 7-year-old lady's house? Now.
Wouldn't want to do it in America.
Well, you wouldn't want to do it in Melbourne.
I've found one. Bring one thing that you found this week that you must share with someone.
You go first.
I kicked off the breakfast program yesterday. I knew it was slightly sort of saucy and misleading on the subject of what's your current fantasy. And my current fantasy is to host an evening with Julio Iglesias where you and Soph come along and everyone dresses in dinner dress and sit at those tables of two. Remember you see the movies where there are tables of two in a cocktail lounge? Because I'm really just fallen in love with Julio at the minute. And Julio's got some beautiful songs and I keep discovering new ones. So I would just recommend you have a listen to Julio Iglesias. I have on my wall at home now, I've just recently got framed because I found going through some collectibles that I've collected over the years in 23 containers, a beautiful big handwritten note in black texture, sort of like Donald Trump's signature. And it says, Ross, your interview was very funny. Love, Julio. And it's on Julio Iglesias' letterhead.
No.
Yeah, I interviewed him once and I got a Christmas card from him every year for about 15 years.
What?
Yep.
Got his address?
No, it lives in Florida. I know that. What's that?
Why did they stop?
I don't know.
That's a good point. Did you let him down?
Well,
did you stop writing? He's alive.
Just go straight to the negative.
No, I think it's a good story. It's a good story if you buried the lead a little bit.
15 good years of Christmas cards.
Was there an altercation?
No.
Did you sleep with one of his 58,000 women that he'd slept with and upset?
So I saw him in concert at Crown, and he has a song called Guantanamera.
One of his best.
Right, that has in the opening lines, I think it is, I'm an hombre sincero, as in I'm a sincere man. I have never seen a less sincere man, but he's gorgeous. So I'll give you one particular song. How about... he does a duet with a Mexican bloke that is absolutely gorgeous. And the Mexican bloke is called Mario Dom, D-O-M-M. I won't say the title in Spanish because you won't get it.
Have a go. And be good for the podcast.
Se me olvido otra vez.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
How long have you spoken Spanish for?
I had a crack at Spanish when I went to live there for a month about
How'd you
10
go?
years ago. Oh, yeah, not bad. All you need to do was, I can't remember, it was puede. 2 words. You need to know how to start a sentence with, do you have, and may I.
What is two in Spanish?
Dos. Dos.
So
You know how I know that?
No.
Basil Fawlty says to Manuel in one particular episode,
Manuel, there is too much butter on those trays.
Okay.
There is too much butter on those trays.
No, senor.
What?
Not on those trays. No, sir. Uno, dos, tres.
Dos each way. So
dos each way. That's great.
2 parts to this.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the first part. The second part is, dos. So I was in Argentina, living on a farm. Everyone's speaking Spanish. At the end of the 3-month jaunt, Sam Bailey, one of my best mates, could not punch out one word of Spanish.
Yeah.
He's just, people can't play music. Yeah. He can't get his head around a language. We ride in on horses to the local town to get, they had these unbelievable milanesa, the schnitzel.
Yeah.
So, dos milanesa, por favor, is what you would say. He walked in. I said, you ordered today? And he sort of froze up. He says, should I do the Cokes or the veal first? I said, let's do the Coke. He goes, Dos Cokes por favor. He had no idea. He could not get por favor out.
You know, when we have these conversations, Big Beard, do you then, because I don't listen to the podcast because I don't like listening to them myself, do you then get bits of audio like Manuel and bung it in there? Yes. Because they speak Spanish in Cuba, do they not? Remember in the Godfather, Fredo and Michael are in Cuba.
Por favor. How do you say banana daiquiri?
Banana daiquiri. That's it. Uno banana daiquiri.
Another one for you to get, Big Beard.
Have you literally never listened to this podcast?
I have literally never have listened.
Do you ever listen to anything you do back?
Never.
Do you like your own voicemail?
No, I do not.
Yeah, it's a complicated process, isn't it? I actually Luke Hodge just texted, he said, because we're speaking Spanish, he said, you write for Golf Next? See, I'm almost fluent in Spanish. Second part of that, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Enrique. So
Enrique Iglesias.
Little brother Will.
Yeah.
The humble, good-looking brother.
Well, he's not little, but he's about 6'7", isn't he?
Younger brother.
Your younger brother Will.
Younger, big
brother.
Yep. He's working on a boat with a guy called James Jordan in the Mediterranean. He ends up working for a guy who ends up being wanted by Interpol, by the way, so stealing most things. He's a Russian oligarch. He has Enrique Iglesias on his boat. Mm-hmm. Will is doing the...
Is Enrique married to Anna Kournikova at this stage?
Don't think so. This year would have been about 2003-04, not sure. But Will's job is to ferry Enrique on the tender into play in the local port and then come back out again. Mm-hmm. Will, who, as you know, has a bit of sort of spunk to him, can't help himself. And sort of, you're told not to speak to anyone, don't look anyone in the eye.
Yeah.
And he says, good luck tonight. Thank you. And they have a chat on the way. And he said, I've basically become best friends on that trip. I'm going to ask him what I want to ask him on the way home. And on the way home, he and James Jordan are in the boat. And he said, how'd it go? Went well. He said, can I ask you something? He says, yep. He goes, are you anywhere near the number of women your father is at? He goes, I'm getting closer.
Is that right?
I am getting closer.
Betting like the Watsons. This is where we pretend to have $1 million on something. What are you doing?
I'm going to have this is just because this is how life works. I'm going to have a 3-leg multi in the AFL one way and then reverse it. I'm going to have the Hawks to beat the Swans, the Crows to beat the Dogs, and the Roos to beat the Eagles. I'm going to have $1 million on, conservatively.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the reverse. I'm going to have the Swans to beat the Hawks, and the Dogs to beat the Crows, and the Eagles to beat the Roos at $16.
Yeah. What are you going to have on it?
Now, what will happen?
Yeah. No. Where'd you get the extra $1 million from? You mean you're having $500,000 on each of those?
Oh, suddenly there's a limit, is there, on what we can do? No, so I can have half each. If things are tight as a podcast and we're down to $1 million per person, I'll have 500 each. But you know what will happen?
Yeah, that'll be a mixture of them.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be Hawks, Dogs, Roos.
That's it.
Right, remember that, Hawks, Dogs, Roos.
So I think one of you should back Hawks, Dogs,
Roos. Arsenal are currently $1.11 to win the EPL Championship.
You're going to
There's only one team that can
Emotional
beat them,
insurance.
and that is Manchester City, who are $7. And Arsenal, they're a bit like...
How long to go is there?
About 6 or 8 weeks.
That's long enough to get it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
How far in front are they?
9 points, but Man City have a game in hand. So say if they win that, it'll be 6 points.
So 3 a win.
Yeah.
What is it, 1 a draw?
Yep, and nothing for a loss. I'm going to have $1 million on Man City at $7.
Seems smart.
Because Arsenal, a bit like my Queensland aunts. I once said to my father I was going to Queensland, and I said, I'll pop in to see your sisters, Jean and Peggy. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, what are you?" I said, "I'll pop in for dinner." And he said, "Oh, listen, son, you be careful. They can stuff up cornflakes." That's Arsenal can stuff up cornflakes.
Well, are you going to have that in? I mean, they're playing in the UK. I assume you're having the £1 million in pounds.
Yes,
because that's quite an outcome if they get up.
Yeah, nice.
£1 million at 7.
Yeah,
sort of 12, 13 Aussie.
I've got $1 million on.
Well, it's credit. We're not actually delivering the cash, are we? The other, just on that, I had a cousin. I think you've met him along the way. Callum McLachlan goes around Scotland heritage. He goes, well, I better go to the McLachlan Castle and see what's going on. Goes and knocks on the door. Oh, I'm Callum McLachlan. I'm travelling around the world with a backpack. Lady opens the door and she goes, yes. It's like, oh, I just thought, cousins and stuff. She goes, nope. Shuts the door.
Yeah, of course.
Shuts the door.
We created the multi-listener multi off my new inspiration, which is bet small to try to win big.
Don't like the theory.
Right. Because
you
wouldn't.
To win more.
So email us to each way at 9.com.au to go on our register as someone who can be involved in the multi-listener multi.
Haven't we come on Instagram and a register?
Yes. This week we have 9 entrants. What we're going to do is it's $2 per person because we expected to have 10, but we hit a hiccup and we got 9. But we're still going to have 20 on. You're going to contribute 10 and I'll contribute 10. And we'll put this on our Instagram page. Is that what we're going to do? Yep. So no one will remember this, but it goes like this.
No, but let's also do a bit of a yes, we love it on each of them. Don't just rush through them.
Is that Ben King to kick at least 2 goals or exactly 2 goals?
No, 2 or more.
All right, 2 or more. Ben King to kick 2 or more goals for the Gold Coast against the Tigers. That's $1.10.
Spencer, that gets up. Nothing surer.
Lachlan says, Autumn Glow to win the George Rider?
Yeah.
$1.28.
That is... Let me just bring the market up for you, just to give you a bit of a feel while we... So there are 12 horses in, $1.28 to win for Autumn Glow. Now we understand that she's currently 10 from 10, so it's going to be an ugly miss. But the second favourite's also Waller. Yeah, we're right. We're good there. Tick.
Right. So Peter says, race 6 Caulfield, Alpha Sophie to run a place at $1.95. That's the other rule. It can't be over $2.
I've got no idea about Alpha Sophie. We're all guessing there.
Well, Sophie because you're married to her.
Oh, that gets up then probably.
Yeah. James says, Caulfield race 4, get a good feeling, $1.55. Is that the win or the place?
That'll be the win, I would think, would get a good feeling. Super first up over 12. $1.60 on the app that I'm looking at. Yeah. Billy Egan riding.
Darren says, Caulfield race 9, Planet Red, $1.75. Is that the win or the place?
Caulfield race 9, Planet Red's a favourite at now $1.80. So we took the value. Big thank you to you, Darren.
Bob said...
Having said that, you're sort of saying as if you're surprised. You've asked them all to go unders. Under $2.
Bob says, Caulfield race 8, Jimmy Star to place at $1.30.
Okay.
Mitch says, here we go. Sydney Kings in Game 1 Saturday night, $1.45 against the Adelaide 36ers. Is that
I
basketball?
feel like Mitch knows something.
Yeah, that's good.
Like he's drifted off into the basketball. Sydney Kings. Is that the finals, Big Bit? Finals.
Grant says Grafter Burner Rosehill race 9, $1.65 to place.
Okay.
No idea. And Brian says Gold Coast to beat Richmond, $1.16. Happy with that, aren't we?
Okay, so here's the bet within the bet.
Yeah.
How many of these legs are going to get up? And I'll give you. Oh, you're
going to say
over
8.
unders? No, over unders for you.
Yeah,
You're going to have $1 million on.
Yeah.
Responsibly.
Yeah.
I think the market for over-unders is 6.5.
Right. What does that mean?
Well, do you think 7, 8, 9 or 10 will get up, or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 will get up?
I'm very confident with 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so your overs at 6.5 for $1 million at $1.90.
Okay, so those 9 tips in the multi-listener multi add up to $26, and 20 on that produces $540. So that's $60 each for our listeners if all 9 get up.
Spencer, Lachlan, Peter, James, Darren, Bob, Mitch, Grant and Brian.
Yep. And if you want to put yourself on the register for each week's edition of the multi-listener multi, email us now, 2eachway@9.com.au to register. And we're finishing as we started with your phone ringing.
Didn't we have $1.90 on the second ring? But just on that, do you feel like there's a bit of a thematic there? Spencer, Lachlan, Peter, James, Darren, Bob, Mitch, Grant, Brian.
Yeah.
No, Louise, Jenny, Margaret. Was there any contribution from our female audience?
Just to create more work for you. Monty Python, Life of Brian.
Are there any women here today?
Are there any women here? Come on. We'd love to hear from you, ladies. 2eachway@9.com.au to register for next week's multi-listener multi. Follow 2eachway wherever you get your podcasts. Email 2eachway@9.com.au. Follow us on Instagram. Just search 2eachway. And remember, whatever your 2 is, enjoy.
Whatever your 2 is, enjoy.